Imagine your club's star moving to your rivals. Instead of loving him, now you hate him. These are top 5 worst betrayals Part 2. Gonzalo Iguaran betrayed Napoli by joining rivals Juventus, claimed club owner Aurelio De Laurentiis, despite pocketing €90 million for the sale of the Argentine striker. As Juventus fans mostly rejoiced, their Napoli counterparts reacted by posting photos of their idol's Napoli shirt in the toilet. And De Laurentiis was not far behind in slamming the 28-year-old striker, whose record tally of 36 goals in 2015-16 season took Napoli to the brink of ending their 26-year wait for the Serie A title. Iguaran was faked as the king of Napoli only when he broke Gunnar Nordahl's 66-year-old record of 35 goals in a single Serie A season as the Azzurri battled Juve for its Scudetto title they last won in 1990. In the end, Napoli finished second, but Iguaran was undoubtedly the star of campaign. De Laurentiis slapped a €94.7 million buyout clause into his contract, but when Juventus offered €90 million over 2 installments, the Napoli owner buckled. "We understood, as soon as Iguaran's brother spoke, that we might run the risk of having to look for a new centre-forward. But we didn't think that risk was serious, or that he, Iguaran, could simply wipe clean his 3 years spent with Napoli." Cesc Fabregas joined Arsenal as a 16-year-old in 2003 from Barcelona's youth academy. The young midfielder was seeking an opportunity for more playing time and saw that chance with the Gunners. Under the tutelage of Arsène Wenger, the Spaniard developed into one of Arsenal's most creative and influential players. He became so important to the squad that he was named captain in 2008 at the tender age of 21. He was a fan favourite and supporters regularly chanted his name. He was adored. In all, he spent 8 years in North London and made 304 appearances. After that he returned to Barcelona, and after 4 years there, he shocked everyone. Instead of signing for another club in Europe, the one-time Arsenal captain signed with one of the Gunners' most despised rivals, Chelsea. It felt like a slap in the face to Arsenal fans who were disappointed. The player that had become a star in red and white would now be suiting up for the enemy. Emmanuel Adebayor, the Togolese, is no stranger to loyalty. On January 13, 2006, Arsenal signed Adebayor for a reported £3 million. He was given the nickname Baby Konu due to his resemblance to former Arsenal star Nwankwo Kanu, whom Adebayor had idolised as a youth. At Arsenal, he made a huge impact where, in his 4 seasons for the Gunners, he scored 62 times in 142 appearances. In 2008, Adebayor scored his second hat-trick for Arsenal after coming off the bench at half-time in a 6-2 victory against Derby County, making him the only player in the Premier League's history to score a hat-trick home and away against the same side in the same season. He was also included in the PFA Team of the Year and was also awarded the BBC African Footballer of the Year for his performances in 2008. However, he wanted to try a new place and Manchester City came knocking on the door. For £25 million, he did well for the citizens, but what he most remembered was scoring a goal against his former club in a 4-2 victory, where he ran almost the full length of the pitch to the Arsenal supporters and celebrated in front of the Arsenal supporters, who had been singing racist chants and insulting his mother for the majority of the game. The main reason that Carlos Tevez makes this list is that he chose to leave Manchester United for City rivals Manchester City, even after the large transfer fee his owners wanted, £25.5 million, was met. But that alone isn't what makes Carlos Tevez a traitor. His behaviour earlier in his career with Corinthians was also traitorous. In order to force a move abroad, Tevez refused to play for Corinthians, and this forced the Brazilian club to put him on the transfer market, with him eventually moving to West Ham. At Manchester City, Carlos Tevez's traitorous nature was in full view once again. Whatever the truth may be about his bench incident against Bayern Munich in the Champions League, he has fully burnt the bridges of reconciliation even after they were extended to him by Roberto Mancini. Roberto Bodo is Italian football's great oxymoron. Skill, technique, finesse, and a great understanding of the game of football in an attacking sense. For all the skill he possessed going forward, he was the opposite of the reputation given to Italian football spanning across his whole career. Italian football was defensive know-how and structured play. Juventus has tried to sign Bodo in 1985. Fast forward 5 years and Boggio, it was announced that, for a world record transfer fee of £8 million, eclipsing the £5 million Napoli paid for Maradona, that Roberto Boggio would become a Juventus player. This left the Fiorentina fans in agony, angry and ready for a riot. The scenes next were nothing short of astounding. The streets of Florence were packed with supporters, and the stadium doors and surrounding areas were only enough to keep the chairman of the club, Flavio Pontello, safe from the baying pack of Viola fans. The poor performance in the league, and the desperate loss to their rivals, was nothing compared to the owner cashing in on their prized asset, their perfect possession. Roberto Boggio was a Juventus player, and the fans across Florence could take no more. He got a very harsh welcome when Fiorentina faced Juventus, since that Fiorentina fans hate Juventus. There will always be traitors in football who will run after money. And yet there will be many more loyal and faithful to this magical and most beautiful game in the world.